What's up, bodybuilding fans? Dave Palumbo here with an RX Muscle news update. The Romania Pro Show has let out, and Cedric Mcmillan does it again. He is the post-Olympia star for sure, really cleaning up in this post-Olympia tour, even though it's been really super hyper-extended. I don't know why they couldn't put all these shows right next to each other week after week. But Cedric keeps getting better and better. I wish he would have brought this look to the Olympia. I don't know how much higher he would have placed, but it's certainly better than what we saw at the Olympia for him. And he seems very confident on stage and his old cocky self. I don't know what it is. I think that Cedric gets psyched out at the Olympia, to be honest with you. I think it's a mental thing. I mean, he looks phenomenal here. He obviously has the best structure in the show, but his conditioning is there. And he might have the best conditioning in this top lineup. I don't know if there's any guys. I don't even think Juan's conditioning is better than Cedric's. So this is a well-deserved victory for Cedric Mcmillan. His posing presentation is always, tremendous. Once again, he feels very confident enough to use. He looks like the winner when you're looking at that lineup. He doesn't look like he has any nervousness about him. He kind of owns this lineup right from the beginning, and I think it's a clear-cut victory for him. Now, what I did notice was that, going into this show, really we didn't hear anything from Cedric. And Juan, I knew Juan was doing the show, but it was relatively quiet for Juan too. What we heard a lot from is Regan Grimes. And Regan Grimes obviously making the comeback to the open class after kind of his testing the waters in the classic division. And you can see that going backwards for him didn't help him make improvements, because the Regan Grimes I'm seeing here that, places third behind Juan Morel is just not, I think, as good as we've seen him in the past. I think his legs are still down in size. I don't think they've come up as much. And his conditioning is certainly not as good here as we've seen in the past. I think this is a good Regan Grimes. I don't think it's a great Regan Grimes. And I think if we had seen a great Regan Grimes, we might have had a different outcome. I don't know if he would have taken out Cedric, but he certainly, I think, would have impressed people a lot more. He's got a tremendous social media following. I mean, he's got a lot of fans. People want to see him do well. Placing third here, in this lineup, really, for his fans is huge, and I'm sure it'll only help his social media following. But I don't think this is a great showing for Regan, other than the fact that we're seeing him back into the open class where he should never have left to begin with. I mean, this is where he was making great progress. He was improving every year. He was placing higher and higher, and I think that the backward, I guess you could say spin that he took in deciding, hey, I'm going to do classic, and I don't know what prompted that. Obviously, he was out at Oxygen Gym for a while. I think they had him gassed up on a little too many supplements, and it kind of freaked him out. And he went backwards and said, I'm going to go down a little bit. And it wasn't a great showing. His structure looks better, bigger, and he can hold a lot more muscle on his body. We're not seeing the best Regan Grimes. He's got a lot more improvements still he can make on his frame. But I think that when we look at his Instagram, we see all the social media things he puts up and the freaky body parts. I think it really bamboozles people into thinking that maybe he is better than he was. But I still think that he's making, I think by next year, I think we're going to see an amazing Regan Grimes. This is not a great one. Juan easily beats him here, I believe. And, Juan challenges Cedric Mcmillan here. But to be honest, I've seen Juan harder and fuller. And I think that, him and Cedric match up structure-wise so well, with Cedric maybe being even a little better than Juan. So I don't think that Juan had a chance here with Cedric bringing the conditioning level that he brought. Had he brought the conditioning he brought at the Olympia, Juan would have beat him, obviously. Max Charles just hasn't been able to nail it, in recent memory, I guess you could say, at least not this year. We're just seeing a good Max Charles, but we're never seeing a great Max Charles, and that's going to hurt him. And he could have done well in this lineup because no one has great legs in this top four here. Regan's legs are down. Juan has good legs, but they're not great. Cedric has good legs, but they're not great. So certainly Max is, the knock against him is his legs. He definitely could have done well in this lineup. I just think he's not hard enough here. And we haven't seen him nail his conditioning for at least, it might be 2 years now. We're seeing good Max Charles. We're not seeing great Max Charles. But the talk really of the show is Cedric Mcmillan's victory here because, if he kind of parlays this and takes this into the Arnold Classic, and I don't know if he has any plans on doing the Arnold Classic, but if he does, brings this look, he's going to be damn hard to beat there. I mean, this is a good look for him. I'd like to see maybe a little fuller. I just think his legs are not as good as they were a couple of years ago, and I don't know if they're going to be able to come up. We always talk about guys in their 40s. Cedric's also one of those guys in his 40s. So, we expect miracles, but we keep thinking that Cedric's in his 30s and that he's improving. He's not going to probably make too many improvements, in his career. He's going to be like a Tony Freeman. If he can hold on to what he's got and bring in good conditioning, he can win shows all day long. Just because his structure is great, his presentation is so good. Juan's body, is good here. Not the best we've seen of him, but it's he's collecting second place. I guess finishes, getting prize money, getting points to the Olympia. Very good move on his part. Let him keep going. He can do it. His body can handle the diet. I say he's brilliant in continuing to hit these shows and pulling in some money and some points for the Olympia and improving his social media following, because everyone's always talking about it every single week. Usually when you compete once a year, no one talks about you in the off season. This is a good way to stay relevant for Juan, and while his body is healthy and he feels good, I say keep doing it, man. Also, we had Wesley Vissers in this classic physique lineup. He won that event, putting on some good size. We've seen some nice improvements from him. He still, I think, can nail his conditioning a little bit more. I don't think the lineup was that tough, and that's why he placed as well. I think if we would have had a couple of guys in this lineup that were really, hard to beat, I think that Wesley would have had a lot of trouble with them. He still has gaps in his physique. He's not a complete guy. He's got beautiful, we see Arnold in him. We want to see this guy do well. When you want to see someone do well, all you got to do is show up in shape, and the judges are going to reward that. He's got those flashes of Arnold when he hits the certain poses, and it's great. It reminds you of the old school bodybuilders, and that's working to his advantage. He's playing that fully. He's got a clothing line that kind of, I guess you could say, curtails and caters to that. Congratulations, man! The guy's going back to the Olympia. He's made a name for himself in our venue, and he's making money from it. And he's young. He's only getting better. As long as he keeps improving and he's running this like a business, which I know he is because I've had him on the TV show before. Very smart. Who's ever surrounding him and advising him on how to run his business, they're doing a great job. I know his clothing line is doing well and his supplements as well. He's a brand, and that's what you got to be to if you want to be successful in this business. And so congratulations to Wes. Anyway, congratulations to Tim Gardner, Jake Wood, and the Wings of Strength people, and putting on a great show here out in Romania. I'm Dave Palumbo with an RX Muscle News Update.